Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the topic in embedded system, nothing but earliest deadline first scheduling algorithm. I am Vanitha, working as an assistant professor in the Department of ECE at K. Rangasamy College of Technology. The earliest deadline first scheduling algorithm, each process will be assigned with the priority based on the deadline. Though it has to process some amount of units, nothing but capacity, for the period given in a problem. Say for example 20 periods, it has to process 3 units. Though the period is given as 20, we have to process this 3 units before the deadline is reached, that is 7 units. Though we have 20 units, it has to process 3 units before the deadline is reached, then take with 7. And T2, similarly T2, though we have 5 periods, before the 4th period of each division deadline, it has to process 2 units. For each 10 units, it has to process 2 units. So in order to draw the timeline, we have to know, we have to take the LCM of all these periods. So periods will be 20. So all these process will be will be having the time is 20. We have to assign the priority of each processes. First of all, we have to assign the priority T2 because the deadline is 4. So the lowest deadline will be taken into account for the highest priority. Next deadline is 7, so T1 will be assigned with higher priority, then the priority will be given to T3. So the priorities are T1, T2, T1 and T3. Now we have to see draw the timeline in order to process these process by the CPU. So the CPU will be allocated to the process initially to T2, then T1, then T3, because the deadline is 4, 7 and 8. So first of all, we have to draw the entire time period for all handling all these processes 0 to 20, as the LCM is 20, and T1 will be 20. For the 20 period, it has to process 3 units. Then T2 for every 5, because 20 will be divided into 4 fives. So 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15 and 15 to 20. For each 5 units, it has to process 2 units. For T3, for each 10 units, it has to process 2 units. Now we have to draw the timeline chart, which will be which can show the CPU handling of all these processes. So first of all, the priority will be assigned to T2 since the deadline is 4. So for each 5, it has to process 2 units. So for the first 5, it has to process 2 units. So the 2 units will be 0 to 2. 2 units will be processed. Next, the priority will be assigned to T1 since the deadline is 7. And for the entire 20 period, it has to process 3 units. So 3 units will be processed. 2 to 3, 1 unit, 2 unit and 3 units. Next, the process will be assigned, the process T3 will be assigned to the next priority. So for every 10 units, it has to process 2 units. So 5 to 7, it has to process 2 units. So we have to take care of the deadline also. So for every 8, so that is before the deadline 8, it has to process 2 units. So before the deadline 8 is reached, the T3 will be processed. Next again, in the cyclic manner, the priority will be assigned to T2. T2 has to process 2 units. So T2 has to process 2 units before the deadline 4. 4 in the sense 4, actually 4. Before 4, the first 2 units will be has been processed. Next, 4 plus 5, before 9, the second 2 units has been processed. Next, the priority will be assigned to T1. T1 has been already processed 3 units, only 3 units. So the priority will be assigned to T3, T3. Next, for every 10 units, it has to process 2 units. For the first 10 units, it has processed already 2 units. So after 10 only, it can process. So after 10 only. So probably the priority will be assigned to T2. T2 for every 5 units, it has to process 2 units. So after 10, it has to process 2 units. Next, the priority will be assigned to T3. So since it is after 10, the T3 can also process. So 2 units. The 2 units will be processed. So only T1 is already processed. T3 is already processed. Only T2 has some 2 units from the period 15 to 20. So from 15 it has to process 2 units. So 2 units will be processed. So what is the completion time of all these process? T1 will be only, since it has only 3 units, 5 will be the completion time. T2 will be taking the longer time. So 17 will be the last process units. So that's 17 units. T3 will be the first 2 units. T3 is second 2 units will be available here. So that 14 will be the completion time of 3 units. So in this way the CPU will handle all these 3 processes based on the deadline. Thank you.